Welcome to Daily Dose of Hebrew Weekend Editions. We're glad that you joined us today, and we'll be covering the accents of 1 Samuel 3:18 today. Let's read the Hebrew together, and then we'll get an overall translation for the day. Vayaged lo Shemuel et kol hadevarim velo kiched mimenu vayomer Adonai hu. Hatov be'enav ya'aseh. So there's our reading. So now let's look at the translation. And then Samuel as the subject, and then Samuel declared to him, the Vav consecutive here giving us the and then Samuel declared to him idea. What did he declare to him? The direct object, all of the things, or all of the words that the Lord had given him in the vision. And he did not, here's the negation, and he did not hide from him. And he said, this is Eli now speaking, and he said, the Lord it is, or it is the Lord. This is Eli's affirmation that the Lord has spoken through Samuel. And then Eli confesses or affirms the good thing in his eyes may he do, or we could flip this around, may the Lord do what seems good in his eyes, or what is good in his eyes. May the Lord do the good thing in his eyes, something like that. Now that we have the whole translation, and we want to find the biggest disjunctive accents, and what we have here, the sof pasuk and the saluk combo, and then the athnach. Now I'm going to go ahead and move the whole saluk segment to the next line, so let's rearrange things. There we go. Now let's look at the athnach segment first. Within the athnach segment, we have the near subordinate disjunctive accent, which is the tifka, and the far subordinate, which is the zakef katon. This is our normal pattern within the athnach segment. And within the zakef segment, when we jump to the first line here, the next disjunctive accent that we have is the pashta, right there. The zakef segment is so short here that we don't need the far subordinate revia for the zakef segment, so it's missing. We just have the pashta. So the first line then we have is this, and then Samuel declared to him all of the words, or all the words, all the things, all of the matter, something of that nature. But you can see how at the beginning, at least, in Samuel declared to him, you have that whole clause set off with the pashta before we move on to the direct object. Now, the next line finishes the athnach segment and also finishes the first two main clauses, and he did not hide from him. We might add in a direct object, and he did not hide it from him, or he did not hide them, the words, from him. But the idea there is that all the way up to the athnach segment, we have two complete main clauses. Now, in the saluk segment, we look for the tifka that we have here. We want to find the same accents as we found in the athnach segment. Again, the tifka is the first one, and then we also have the zakef katon. Now, the next disjunctive accent that I want to highlight today is the second zakef in this third line, which is the saluk segment. This zakef is a zakef gadol right there. Now, notice that this accent puts the word in pause. Maybe you're familiar with that term. If you remember the normal theme vowel dissimilation for amar, when it's in the imperfect with a vav consecutive, if you remember this, we normally get vayomer with a segol as the theme vowel, and the accent retracts to the yod, and we have something like vayomer. Here, what we have is vayomar because of the disjunctive accent. The strength or the weight or the power of this zakef gadol actually puts the word in pause, and we see that even in the morphology. So the morphology does change a bit, and the accent here tells us that vayomar is to be read alone before moving on to Adonai. So we don't read this, and then the Lord said, with the Lord as the subject. Rather it is, and then he said, Eli speaking, the Lord it is, or to put it in, to flip it around, or it is the Lord. So we have, and then he said, Eli, it is the Lord. Eli affirms here that Samuel's message was from the Lord. And the verse then after that ends with, may the Lord do what is good in his eyes. And we've seen how that translates out. So that's going to wrap it up for today, and we're almost finished with 1 Samuel 3, so stick it out for another month or so each weekend. We love having you guys join us. And thanks for jumping in today, and until next time, shalom.